Hi, everyone, and welcome to Rescripted Podcast, where we could celebrate the great things in life, share about the not so great parts, and find out how we can rewrite those challenges, turn them into insightful moments that will lead us to change, to growth, to happiness, and empowerment, all so that we can live the life we truly want to experience. My name is Quiles, and I'm a personal development coach that helps you overcome self-doubt and self-sabotage so that you can live your dream life. In today's episode, we are going to be discussing why personal development is the key to unlocking your potential. When we think of personal development, we think of how can we elevate? How can we acquire new skills? How can we be more productive? And how can we set ourselves up to have better and greater opportunities, right? So we always think of what is the external things we can do to elevate ourselves, our lifestyle, our income, right? There's so many things that we look at the external, but we fail a lot of the times, more times than we'd like to admit. We fail to really look in the inside and see what are the components that are kind of out of alignment. A lot of things that we do, and something that's really important is our emotions. A lot of times we try to avoid responding through our emotions, from our emotions, because of our emotions. So what we end up doing is we try to hide our emotions, right? We don't want to operate from that. We're too sensitive. We're too delicate. We take things too personal. But the truth of the matter is when you hide your emotions, truly what you're doing is hiding your authentic response. That is your form of communication. Emotions is a form of communication. Just think about it truly. If you meet someone and you don't understand their language, you can understand more or less like what they're trying to interpret by the energy that they're giving off, the emotion that they're giving off. Are they happy? Are they excited? Are they upset? Are they frustrated? Are they angry? Are they hangry? There's so many things that we can tell by someone's emotional responses. So when you cut that out, then you really remove what is an authentic response for you. And what that truly ends up doing is cutting off your true response to that. And that's what removes like the authentic version of you, the true version of you, right? Because if you cut off your emotions and you disassociate yourself from like how you truly feel because you're trying to mask it, that in and of itself is kind of like a form of being like defensive, and so you don't want to share what's important to you or your perspective or your point of view. You cut that part off, and in a sense, when you do that, you are removing the validity of your perspective. And great, I understand everybody has opinions. We don't want to hear them all the times, and and not all of them are going to make sense, or not all of them are going to be appropriate for the all at the same time. So that I get, and that I totally understand. But when you see and you're in a situation and you know that you have great value, your point of view has great value, your perspective has great value, and your emotion is triggering you to be able to see things from a different point of view that can create more value. And if you don't share that, then that's you not being your authentic self. It's one thing if you don't like it because you don't like it, and because you're not looking at it from a place of value, you're just looking at it from a place of personal opinion, and that's different. Maybe there's not a time for that. Maybe, if you're at work or you're really working through something, you're working on a project, maybe your personal point of view, like your own thoughts and ideology may not be what's being asked of you at the moment. But if you have something with great significance and great substance and it has great value and you don't share it, then that's you saying and you acting as though, what's the word I'm really trying to look for? That's you portraying that your word doesn't have significance, that your point of view doesn't add value. And at that point, that's when you start to cut yourself off from the true potential that you have, the true value that you share. And then you start to go down this road where then it starts to become a little hard to express yourself. And the more you cut off from your emotions, the more that you cut off from being able to share your point of view, the more you're training yourself that your emotions, your feelings, your point of view doesn't matter. But that's something that you're doing to yourself. That's something that you're taking on yourself. You are embodying that your voice doesn't matter. And once you start cutting that off, then it's going to be harder for you to express yourself. And if you do that long enough, and if you do that enough times, you're going to come to realize that you're not even going to know how to express yourself truly anymore. You're going to want to, but you're always going to feel like you can't find the right words. And it's because you disassociated yourself so much from your emotions that it's hard for you to express it, because you don't even know what you're feeling anymore, because you don't know how to identify that anymore. And you don't want to do that, right? You don't want to rob yourself of your own voice. I mean, your emotions are beautiful. They're actually such a great thing. They're the truest and rawest emotions of you, the communication of you, how you truly feel about something. Your emotions take away all the fluff. It takes away the bluffs. It really makes for a clear understanding of where you stand, what you want, what you're comfortable with, what you're not comfortable with. So you don't want to water that down just because you're scared to share your voice. Maybe you want to get approval from somebody else. You want somebody else to validate your thoughts and your opinions, and maybe you haven't gotten that from them. So therefore you're just like, okay, well, let me reserve and let me just do kind of like what I feel that they want, or something that, will impress them. All the while you're not really being true to you. There's, the saying that I say, you can give all of you and still not give the best of you. Because if you're not familiar with you, you're not familiar with what you are great at, what's your precise gifts and talents and abilities, then you don't know how you precisely add value. I mean, sure, anybody can learn how to do a task and do it. And some people do it well if they enjoy it, and some people not so much if they don't enjoy it. But at the end of the day, anybody can do a task. But when you're able to, have that along with what you're truly gifted at, meaning like make sure that you add your voice to it, make sure that you add what your qualities are, your individual qualities, your God-given gifts are, then that's different. That really takes things to a different level. And then you're not worrying about having to get somebody else's approval on what feels so right for you. Because the best way that you can really honor an individual is by making sure that you don't violate their ability to share their emotions, to express from their emotions. And a lot of times it's not that somebody else is doing this to you. It's not that you're really truly doing it to someone else. But if we have those habits of like, okay, we're going to reserve our opinions, we're going to reserve how we can add value. Again, not just opinions, because sometimes we all have opinions, and it's not about just sharing your thoughts. It's about sharing value as well, And if you have value to share and you don't share it, well, then you are violating your ability to express yourself authentically. And you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that to yourself, much less have anybody else do that to you. And you don't want to do that to anyone else either. But you see how it could be like a chain reaction, almost like a domino effect. Like, I feel like I have to reserve my opinions, my emotions, so I become defensive and I become guarded and I shut down to the point where then I can't communicate from a healthy point of view, right? That will lend itself to be authentic to me. And then when I go try to communicate with somebody else and I can't express myself, then there's friction there, and not that I want to get into, relational aspects and components of that, because I want to stay with you, right? Because you can only build you up. You can inspire other people, but you can only build you up. And as long as you're able to build the best version of you, not perfect, but the best version of you that's happy, healthy, sound mind, productive, and really feels aligned with what they're doing, gives them purpose and gives them significance and make them feel happy, then that's the best that you can do. And you can only inspire somebody else to find that in themselves, but we can't force anyone to do that, right? Now, if any of this sounds like you and something that you want to work on and build on and some challenges that you want to just overcome, then I'll invite you to go ahead and book a call with me and we could discuss some of the things that you have challenges with and see how I can help you. Or you could take a personal development test and see, like, are there any areas where you feel like you do want to sharpen those skills? See where you're strong at, but maybe where are areas that you want to develop a little bit more. So I have those two options down below if you're interested, so that you can start your journey on personally developing you so that you can live your dream life. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. And if you enjoyed this episode and feel like it was insightful, then I ask you to please rate it, like it, and subscribe. And share it with someone you feel will enjoy it. I'll be back here next week and we will continue to discuss matters regarding personal development. Take care, guys. Have a blessed week, and I'll see you next time.